I mean, you can get a play-by-play by going to MLB.com, and you can also get the velocity of the pitch and where it was. So there are places, fans can go to get that. I think they want tweets with a little bit of sand in it and attitude and humor if you got it. So if something significant happens, you want to say what's happening with your own kind of take on it. But sometimes you'll just describe it as it happens, because I got 4 or 5 other writers next to me all tweeting at the same time, and you can't be 10 seconds late on a tweet now.
Well, there's very little now that you're going to tell them that they don't already know, and that's why you got to work harder and dig deeper to find something to sort of justify what we do and justify the fact that somebody pays us to do this job.
So for me, it's not so much what I tweet. I'll tweet if I write a story that I think is pretty good and I want my followers to be aware of it, because they might retweet it. I'll do that. But for me, it's more just looking and seeing what the other writers are saying and what they're writing about, and then what the athletes are. So it's something that I have to go through every day.
And it's almost backwards, and it feels a little. I don't know, that's not the ideal way of doing things, because then you see a lot of incomplete stories, and it's about who can get it the fastest as opposed to who can get it the fullest.
In some ways, it's Twitter almost like headline news, so we're just going to give you headline, headline, and then maybe if you want, you read it throughout it later.
Yeah, and in the company I work for, ESPN, we're not allowed to tweet news, right? Because it really is the way everyone should be, because essentially you're giving the traffic to Twitter as opposed to giving it to the place that's paying you to report news, right?
Are we better journalists now because of the technology, or are we not as good journalists now because of the technology?
That's a really tough question, and I think it can work actually both ways, because you want to be thorough and you want to make sure you get it right. What we're really concerned about is that we're so quick to compete with everybody else that we're going up with stuff that, too fast, that hasn't been confirmed. So we're really, really careful about that, and basically our rule is, we want to be first, but if we have to be second, we got to be sure that it's right.
I do the NFL sidelines, and sometimes the tweets make it to the national audience before the broadcast has time, because we're waiting for a play to finish, or we're waiting to get a sponsorship element in or something like that. And sometimes the information that we have on the broadcast is a couple minutes behind what a writer up in the booth is tweeting.
I think in a lot of ways, like, information I've always seen in this business is currency, right? It doesn't matter who breaks it or how, or in what form. When it gets out there, it's out there, and it goes fast. But I think good information is the best currency, and I think that sometimes information gets out there that's not exactly right. It's a little reckless. It's so easy to just throw stuff out there on Twitter that is half reported or half true, or half you got one side and you heard a whisper of something and then you throw it out on Twitter. It's a little too easy to do that.
What I try to do, is to try to make it a little bit interesting. You post pictures of empty seats in the stadium, which for some reason really gets people upset for some reason. I might make fun of other writers or something, and you kind of hide the links in between that and hope people get tricked into clicking them, really. Honestly, that's really what I do.
We try to put our own spin on it, to have a little bit of a compelling angle to it, because like I said, there's such a competitive marketplace. You have a lot of blogs out there that aren't, I guess, traditional mainstream media that cover the team really well as far as analysis, and they bring in the kind of sabermetric stats, and fans tweet constantly. I follow several hundred of them, and they notice things too, and they're just as quick on the trigger as most journalists are, traditional journalists, at describing the game action and bringing in news.
There's an accountability that you have as a reporter when you're writing about people that you know and that you work with every day, and you need to be fair with them or they'll never talk to you again, and plus it's just professionally the right thing to do. And I don't think that those fan sites have that same accountability, because they're not dealing with the primary sources. They can say whatever they want and there's no repercussions for it.